He wasn't allowed to work with children. Immediate ghost. That's wild damn. Googled him before our first date. He'd recently been convicted and given a suspended prison sentence for revenge porn of his ex-girlfriend. The pictures were from when they were underage. Yikes. Good on you for googling him, Mr. Bullet. He had a wife and children. Found out after a month of dating. Same happened to me too. Only thing was I found out a bit sooner via WhatsApp photos. I immediately terminated the relationship. He didn't understand why. Also my brother goes, he didn't actually do anything wrong. Ah, yes he did. And he would have probably done it to your sister had she not caught him out. Googled his name and found out he had recently been in prison and had pending felony charges for planting a homemade bomb underneath the car of a man his ex-wife had been seeing. Holy shit, this comment escalated quickly. I'm glad you found that info. Found out he beat the S** out of his mother. His own mother? Wow. Had a date booked with a guy from an app. Day of I stalked his social media and saw a recent post where he had screenshotted a lady's dating profile from the app and posted it laughing about her body to his friends. Stood him up and got loads of Winnie messages, but F** him. I love how Winnie they get when you call them out on their bullshit. What a man-child. As soon as we sat down for dinner, he says, so actually I just got out of jail today. Crazy shit. I have a bit of temper. I hightailed it out of there pretty quick. So excited he couldn't even contain himself. He wanted to do just the tip without a condom when I had clearly stated I wasn't doing anything without a condom. Threw him out and blocked his number. This happened to me. Sadly he forced himself on me anyway. This was the first and only time I had to push someone off me, and it dawned on me how much stronger he was. I was seeing this guy in college and one day, he brought up his disgust with women's periods, not just the bleeding, but the symptoms that came with it. He said that women calling out sick because of menstrual cramps was utter BS, and we should just suck it up. My friend has endometriosis and suffers from extremely heavy periods and chronic pain. I had extremely heavy periods which was a result of a hormone imbalance and was later diagnosed as anemic. I did not see him again after that conversation, but I'll let him know that he was way out of line. Also, I don't think men understand that endometriosis is literally cells from your uterus growing where they shouldn't, which can be on your lungs and other organs, and bleeding into your chest cavity. Would love to explain that to a dude and see what he says about period pain. TheNymphoArtist. Referring to women as sluts because they like sex bad vibes. And then probably expecting sex from them, eh? He wanted me to put him in diapers and said he was falling in love with me on the second date. Officially Caspered. Caspered LMAO. He, unannounced, brought his 3-year-old with him and tried to force interaction between us. Later tried to initiate sex whilst the kid was sleeping in the room. He probably thought, oh yeah baby, I'm gonna take my kid and she'll think that I'm an excellent father. She'll fall deeply in love with me and then we will have sex for the rest of our lives. Smart. I was talking to a guy on a dating site and he just started giving me creepy vibes. He wanted to know all about me, but when I asked him anything about himself he clammed up. When I stopped talking to him, he would just send me selfies of himself smiling. But it was a creepy smile. No message, just a selfie. I can't explain it, but I always got a bad feeling about him. Trust your gut. A morning text I need to FK inspired me to peace out. Similar note, after knowing each other for 2 weeks, we hadn't had sex or sexted. He messaged me when he knew I was out with a friend. I want to eat your ass. It was a risk on his end, a risk that did not pay off. Another one, we were kissing in his car after our first date. He put his hand between my legs. I gently removed it, all while keeping lip locked. A minute later, his hand wanders back. I removed it again. I'm not ready for that yet. When he put his hand back a 3rd time, I said, dude, what the hell? He shrugged. It's a woman's prerogative to put down boundaries, but it's a man's prerogative to push them. There was no second date. What an idiot. Thank goodness you didn't see him again. Felt bad, so my ex tried to cheer me up by asking stuff about my major, which usually gets me talking for a good 2 hours. I study the ancient Middle East. So where did the first people come from? Huh. Africa isn't in our curriculum, and we don't go that far back. That's biology more than history. Africa? No, I mean Adam and Eve. Where did they live? Adam and Eve. Oh my god, you're an evolutionist. Didn't talk about religion much beforehand, and we live in Western Europe, so I stupidly assumed he'd be moderately religious at absolute most. He was so stuck in his own bubble that he couldn't fathom me not being religious. Despite me telling from the get-go I'm an atheist, he apparently didn't think that included God isn't real and creationism is bull. Out of curiosity, how long were you seeing him before this happened? And how long after this happened? Did you end things? I was talking to a real handsome dude and was slowly about to get serious until he told me he fucked dogs, but don't worry, I'm not gay. Like WTF. He thought him being a zoophile was more acceptable than being gay? NSFW, but he said he wouldn't ever perform oral or use his hands during sex and that I couldn't masturbate. Ghosted him because if I continued a relationship with him, I'd risk dying without ever having an orgasm again, lol. Edit to add, he said, if you can't come from penetration then you need to work on that. Oh hell no. If some dude tried to tell me I couldn't flick my own bean, what a loser. He told me about his sister. He was really close to her and she had a special nickname for him and he was missing her because she moved out of state. Then he asked me to have phone sex with him and role play as his sister and use the nickname and say things like, when will mom be home? What if mom sees us? Those red flags were like the flappy tube men outside of car dealerships. Bye bye incest man. His poor sister. Went on a date with a guy and he was super nice, said all the right things, charming. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something seemed really off about the whole thing. I mean, my spidey senses were absolutely *screaming*. So I cut the date short and googled him the same night when I got home. Turns out he had been arrested, not once but *3 separate times for domestic violence. Immediately blocked him. Found out later through a coworker that knew him that all 3 of those arrests were with different women, and apparently he had put his hands on other women too, but was never arrested for it or anything. She told me I dodged a hell of a bullet, and clearly I did. I've never felt more validated about listening to my instincts. That's why I always say that you should trust your intuition. I'm glad you are safe.